about me being uncomfortable wherever I am. You ain't never gotta worry about me. You ain't never gotta worry about me. You ain't never gotta worry about me being uncomfortable with who I am.
Okay, so check me out. All right. I got. Oh wow, it's upside down. I was like, what the hell hit me? Okay, wait, hold on, let's check your checklist. Got your snacks? Check. Adidas? Obviously. And you got your cuddle buddy? Ugh, not obviously, but I guess you can have your Adidas as your cuddle buddy on. Can you do that? Or is that against the law? The Gator law. Is that against the Gator law? Can you use your Adidas as your cuddle buddy? I don't think so. I think that's illegal. Yep, no. That's illegal. That's illegal. You gotta have the checklist. You gotta have all three things separately but together. Cause you got your snacks, right? You got the Adidas on deck, right? But then you need a cuddle buddy. I'm clucking up. I gotta be honest with y'all. I'm a man. I live up to my cluckiness. I'm clucking up. But this is weird because I don't know if any of you all seen my Instagram story, but like I got like 3 different kinds of like popcorn. I got movie theater popcorn, kettle corn, and then like this is movie theater, but like it was like this is butter and this is like the popcorn, so it's separate. So I don't really know how. And I got, oh God, this shit is the best. Oh my God. But like, I don't know how I feel about this, right? Pouring this directly over a popcorn. But I mean, we just gonna do it. We just gonna do it. Hold on. Oh, look at that. Oh, damn, that shit look. Oh, it's dripping. Hold on. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to. I'm used to having the butters right already on a popcorn, so I don't gotta worry about. Hold on. Let me shake it up. Let me hold on now. Hold on. Do we have something here? Hold on. Okay. No, we good. We good. I have my doubts. But we good. Hold on. What? Pause. A pause on all of this. Hold on now. I'm sorry, just hold on a second. I really hope my camera does not stop during this reaction. That would suck. I hate when my camera just stops. I gotta sniff. Oh God. I gotta taste. Mwah. Right there. Right, look at it. Oh. God, this is so good. This shit brings back memories. God, this is like the best one. Hold on. I'm gonna get to the reaction. Just hold on a second. You know how I am with my popcorns. You know how I get. I act like a kid who just opened, you know, a pair of Adidas on Christmas Day. Oh my God, that's how I am right now. Ugh. Yup. Yup. God damn. Wow. I just realized that's probably a really unhealthy amount of straight goodness. You know what I realized? All the popcorn that I've eaten thus far, my cholesterol is probably through the fucking roof. Hold on. Let's go. Did I say septo? I don't remember. Let's go. I'm smacking and shit. I'm so sorry. Suck! No.
To preface this, I'm a girl and my mom was a horrible addict.
Right.
She barely took care of me as a kid.
Damn.
At the time of this incident, I was around 6 or 7, so my awareness and understanding of things happening may not totally make much sense here.
Okay.
This happened in the 90s. One night, my mother and I were on a car ride. I wasn't sure why we were driving, but it was late at night. I'm not sure what time it was, but I assume it was really late because there weren't many cars on the street and I was sleeping in the back seat. I don't even remember getting in the car. My mom drove up to some sketchy house and left me in the car for what felt like forever.
Your mom don't give a damn about you. She don't. How you gonna pull up in a very sus house that's most likely clucked and then leave you basically by yourself in an area that you don't really know like that? And I highly doubt your mom know anything about the area too, especially the house. That's crazy. Your mom don't give two shits about you. I'm sorry to say, but somebody had to say it. Jesus.
The car door swung open and someone violently grabbed me by my arm and yanked me out of the car.
Wow.
I started screaming and crying until the man that grabbed me looked in my eyes and said, "Be quiet and don't try to run or I'll kill you." He had a scruffy beard and looked like a madman. I was scared to death, so I listened. He held me tight by my arm, shut the car door, and walked with me down the street. I looked back at the house my mom was in, hoping that my mom would come out the last second and save me. I looked at the house as long as I could as the man dragged me further and further away.
Wow.
As we walked down the street, I wanted to cry, but I was in shock and in fear. I didn't know what to do. If I sniffled or cried, the man would tighten his grip and yell at me. I can't even explain how scared and confused I was. We walked for a little while and ended up in the projects. The projects were a bunch of buildings crammed together in a shitty neighborhood. We walked into one of the buildings and walked up a flight of stairs. My legs and feet hurt like hell, but I was too scared to stop moving or complain. We walked up another flight of stairs when I saw some random guy smoking a cigarette in the stairway.
Wow.
Then, without warning, the guy that kidnapped me fell to the ground. It happened so fast. I didn't know how the kidnapper fell to the ground so fast, but the next thing I remember is the cigarette guy was punching and kicking the kidnapper in his head and in his face. The kidnapper was out cold. Cigarette guy picked up the kidnapper by the back of his jacket and threw him down the stairs.
Wow.
You have no idea how scary and violent it is to see an unconscious man fall down the stairs. To this day, I still have a fear of...
I put too much seasoning in this. Jesus. My body is trying so hard to reject this popcorn because I put so much seasoning in this, but then my mind is like, just keep eating it. Just keep eating. Your mom is in cahoots. I bet you $5. She's in cahoots.
Going downstairs. He bled everywhere.
Wow.
I still have no idea how cigarette guy knew to help me, but I'm glad he did. Maybe he could see the tears in my eyes. Maybe he just picked up on something and had a bad vibe, but he acted instantly. The first second he could, he attacked my would-be kidnapper. Cigarette guy starts pacing back and forth, swearing at himself, gritting his teeth and clenching his fists. I thought he was mad at me, so I started to cry. He looked at me and said, Okay, shut up. He had an attitude, so I listened to him out of fear.
I need something to drink. I need water because oh, hold on, I can't. That was way too much seasoning. Jesus, I gotta back off on that seasoning. But not the popcorn. Oh, God. Oh, it really tastes like I'm just eating nothing but seasoning. Like, wow. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Just hold on. Hold on. Woo.
Scared of cigarette guy as much as the bearded guy, but I was still in fear of him. He started to ask me questions with an attitude. Why are you out this late? Where are your parents? Why would you talk to strangers? I was in so much shock and confusion I couldn't answer the man's questions correctly. He asked if I knew my way home, and I told him I didn't. I told him a broken story about what happened, and somehow with the information I gave him, he knew where my mom's car was. The only thing I remember about the road is passing a house with Christmas lights on it despite Christmas already being over. I think he knew the area well enough and figured out where I needed to go based on that information. But I honestly don't even remember telling him about the Christmas lights. Anyways, he told me he would take me back if I promised over and over that I wouldn't tell the police that I saw him or anyone that looked like him, and made me promise that I wouldn't even tell the police anything.
You got it.
He had an attitude and I didn't care what he asked me. I just wanted to go back to my mom, so I agreed. I followed him down the stairs. The bearded guy was still laying on the ground bleeding at the bottom of the stairs that cigarette guy threw him down. He wasn't moving at all. I mean, for all I know, he was dead, and I hope now that he was. Cigarette guy stepped over the bearded guy, and I followed. We walked outside, and cigarette guy looked around panicky. I remember him telling me, "The police don't like me." We walked out of the projects, and my feet still hurt. Cigarette guy was walking fast in a panic, and I had to basically jog to keep up with him. I started crying, and he asked me what was wrong. I told him my feet hurt, and I remember him sucking his teeth and picking me up with an attitude. He awkwardly cradled me in both arms. He walked down the road for a moment. Then I remember him swearing and running behind a house or building. A cop car was driving down the road. He put me down and told me to run to the police car. I tried to run, but my legs could barely move and I was scared. The cop car kept driving and rode away without seeing me before I could even get remotely close to it. He kept swearing to himself as he picked me up again and ran down the street. He took me behind a lot of houses and hid from every cop car that drove by. I assumed now that the police were looking for me.
Oh, man.
He carried me in both arms, running fast down the road when I saw my mom and her car in the distance. She was surrounded by police. Cigarette guy put me down and told me to run to the police. I got so excited the pain in my legs disappeared. He put me down and ran away. I ran towards the police and my mom.
Nope. I would have just ran to the police. Don't touch me, Mom. Don't touch me, bitch. Don't get off me. Get off me. Like, for real. Don't touch me. I spit everywhere. I don't know why I keep spitting. Jesus. I need to just tone it down a little bit. And pause on me spitting. But yeah, no. Back off. Please, Mom. Don't touch me, please. Okay? Please don't touch me. Because I'm going to hit you in your boobs. Really. Hard as hell. Don't touch me. Okay? Just back off. First of all, I didn't want to come with you. So you took me forcefully. Right? Second, I don't know where the hell we are. You basically don't know where we are. You take us, me mainly, to a very sus area and to a very sus house. And to top it all off, don't touch me. And to top it all off, let me finish. You left me in a car by myself. Darkness. With the doors unlocked. Don't touch me right now.
picked me up and hugged me tight. The police started to ask me and my mom questions. I don't remember too much about their questions, but I remember my mom telling the police some convoluted story that just didn't make any sense. She basically told me to not say anything, and I didn't say much, but cried a whole bunch. We went home. Days later, my dad picked me up and knew something was wrong. I told him everything. I never lived with my mom again.
Oh!
When I grew up and had time to think about that day, I never forgave my mother. Not too long ago, I asked my dad what he remembers about the situation, and he told me what he thinks happened from what I explained to him from years ago. He said my mom was on a drug binge, I got kidnapped. Someone saved me, but the person that saved me had warrants and wasn't mad at me. He was just frustrated with the situation that he had to deal with. Imagine being a criminal on the run, and now you have a kidnapped girl with you, and you just beat a guy up half to death.
Right.
If he would have gotten caught with me, he would be in jail for my kidnapping. With my mom lying and me being in shock and confused, I wouldn't be able to tell them that the man had helped me because while it was all happening, I didn't even notice he was helping me. To the man that saved me, thanks. To the man that tried to kidnap me, I hope I never see you again.
And you should have said clock you. Right. Way too much seasoning in this.
I was on an equestrian team throughout middle school with about 9 other girls. My coach's name was Deborah, and one of the most awesome things about Deborah was that she'd always take our teams on reward trips or events. Trips included outings such as movies, water park dates, or just barn sleepovers. This particular trip was a trail ride overnight.
No.
We were ecstatic as trail overnights.
No. I'm fine with everything else. Just not the barn shit. Cause that shit is open. The barn is open. Depending on what barn you go to. But like, I think more often than not, a barn is completely open in a sense. So I can do without the barn. Everything else, the movies, parks, water parks, all that, yeah, I can do. I can do without the barn, and I can kind of do with everything else that you said.
A summer thing, and it was one of the first ones of the year. Basically, a trail overnight was a weekend that we would go on a 3-day long trail ride. We'd pack a bag or two, meet up on Friday morning at the stable, load up our horses and bags into the 3 trailers, and be on our way. That was exactly how it happened this particular trip. Everything went exactly as it should have, and we set off to a trail near the Sleeping Bear Dunes, as I live in rural Michigan. Things got odd a few hours into the trip.
Oh yeah?
We had all left at about 7 in the morning, so that left us with plenty of daylight to do fun stuff after we got settled into the campsite. Deb had us all saddle up to go along the Lakeshore Trail. Once everyone was in the saddle, we set off on a narrow, single-file only trail that wound through some woods and eventually would lead us to an overlook of the beach. I was completely in my zone. My horse, Aries, was not. It was like he and a few other horses were sensing something that nobody else did.
There it is. Way too much seasoning. But there it is. Animals have a sixth sense. Sixth sense. There we go. Now I feel like, no, I don't feel. I know that animals know when some cluck shit is about to happen, is about to go down. And those horses know what's up. And I won't be surprised if the horses hauled ass without the humans. If I was a horse in that situation, I would have hauled ass like a mother cluck. I don't give a damn about anybody, about no humans, about any other horses. If my sixth sense go off, I'm not going to stick around to see what's about to go down. So go ahead and keep that. Keep all of that. That's your sign right. Those are your red flags right there. That's your signal right there. Like if animals are starting to freak out, that's, man.
And we chalked it up to being in a new place that we had never camped before. Being that Aries was a Mustang, I thought maybe his wild instincts were kicking in after a few years of being domesticated as well. At about 7 o'clock that evening, while Deb and the stable hand Carla cooked up hot dogs and the rest of us had to come back from swimming, I decided to take Aries out for a quick trot and a loop around the campsite in hopes to calm him down. I grabbed my helmet and mounted up, not bothering to grab reins or saddle up, and just tied the lead rope to the other side of his halter. The ride went how I expected it to, with Aries acting up. Although this time his behavior was different.
See?
He didn't just seem agitated, he seemed distressed, like something was really scaring him. I looked around and couldn't see a thing. No deer, no bears, no other horseback riders or mountain bikers or anything. I decided to go down a little trail that would wind back up at the campsite after about 5 minutes rather than just going in a loop. This is where it hit the fan. We had been going for about 2 minutes on this little trail when I started feeling funny.
Oh no.
Like we were being watched.
Oh.
I turned around and nobody was there. At one point of the trail, we came across a big boulder, and this was where Aries stopped completely.
Oh shit.
No amount of nudging or encouragement budged him. He absolutely refused to go any further. I slid off his back and tried pulling him to no avail. That's when I noticed where his eyes were focused. He wasn't looking at me, but over my shoulder.
Oh my god.
Ears perked forward, absolutely silent, like a dog pointing. Slowly, I turned around and saw a tall, dark figure about 50 yards away, maybe less, standing ahead of us on the trail, not moving, even though I'm sure he heard us. I didn't know what to do. Was he a hiker? It was obviously a man.
You don't know what to do? Are you serious? Really? If the horse is still there, get on the horse and haul ass the opposite way. If the horse is still there, because if I was the horse, I would have left your ass.
He had no pack, no bike, nothing. He was holding something in his hand though. A walking stick, maybe. I didn't want to bother him or go near him as his presence had given me the creeps. I whispered to Aries that we were going back and slowly climbed on. As soon as I was situated and I looked back at the man though, my heart dropped. The figure had turned towards us, watching. I could tell because I could faintly make out the zipper of his jacket. There was no doubt he had seen and heard us, so there was no point in trying to be subtle. I offered a wave, trying to signal I was out of there and wouldn't be a bother. Aries was more than happy to oblige. When I looked back again, my heart dropped even further and I froze. The figure was getting larger. The man was chasing us, running at full speed.
Wow.
I saw what was in his hand, a machete? It couldn't be, but it sure looked like some kind of weapon. I said Aries' name loudly in fear, and he knew what I wanted. He kicked into overdrive as the man had caught up to about 10 yards away from us. Mustangs are fast, and Aries was no exception. That made hanging on without a saddle a bit difficult, but I somehow knew that if I fell, my life was over.
Don't
and
fall.
Just my luck, I did fall.
Yeah, man. Aries clucked that human. Cluck her. Or him. I don't really know. But Aries, this is your, because the person that was riding you on your back fell off or whatever, cluck that person and use Aries. I'm gonna need you to haul ass without that person, please. Because obviously that person is on some bullshit right now and doesn't care about their life. But I feel like you do, Aries. So please just leave that person behind in all due respects.
This had put some distance between us and the man to where I could no longer hear or see him. But it didn't take long for the machete guy to come within hearing range. It was still daylight out. If it had been dark, I would have stayed low to the ground where I fell, but wearing a bright red shirt made me stand out like a sore thumb and gave me no hope of hiding for long. The man came up over the hill of the trail and spotted me immediately. I knew I was doomed. The man started towards me, and before I could bolt, I heard the thundering sound of hoofs speeding in my direction. The man, although I couldn't see his face beneath the hood of his jacket, I could tell he was looking behind me. I turned to and had to dive out of the way. Aries was speeding towards the man in like a freight train. I couldn't believe what I saw. Before the guy could dive out of the way, Aries struck him with full force and trampled him,
Damn.
making the guy yell out in pain. He lay there limply. More than likely a bone or two was broken. Aries was big for a Mustang, and being hit and run over by any horse isn't going to leave you without injury. Aries disappeared over the hill for a second, then came back and ran the man over a second time.
Damn.
He stopped long enough for me to scramble onto his back, and we sped to the campsite. I told Deb and the rest of the group that we needed to call the police and get the hell out of there. As soon as I told Deb, she had us pack our stuff up and get in the trailer and trucks while she called the police. They didn't take too long to arrive, as there were usually some scouting around the area we were in. I told them everything that had happened, and that the man may still be laying where we had left him because Aries had trampled him pretty badly. We didn't stick around long enough to find out, but we learned that the guy I had encountered had previously been arrested for assault with intent to kill. How he had gotten into the woods, I'll never have any clue. I do know that I owe my life to my horse, as I wouldn't be here to tell this story had I not been with him. People say horses are dumb animals, but I think Mustangs are different. I think if Aries had not been wild before, he wouldn't have been able to recognize the threat. Anyway, that's my story. If there are any fellow riders out there, or even just hikers or mountain bikers, whatever you might do on the trail, I recommend you don't go do it alone.
No shit. I mean, that's pretty, common sense. But then again, most people don't have common sense.
At the time this happened to me, I was a 26-year-old male.
Right.
I'm telling my story in hopes that it may educate people and to demonstrate to those who have experienced what I have that they're not alone.
Right.
The year was 2010, and I had just finished basic training in the military. I joined the Marines in hoping to improve myself and become part of something greater than myself. After completing basic training, I was stationed at a facility where I was to receive MOS training, which is basically training for the job I was to do in the Marines. I was married at the time, and things were not going well between my wife and I. After a stressful week, I decided to go with some of the guys in my unit to a local bar and blow off some steam.
There it is.
Before we were dismissed for the weekend, we were briefed by our command on basic safety tips such as travel in groups, don't wander off drunk alone, and watch your drinks. I blew most of what they said off because I never envisioned anything bad happening to me. After finally being released for the weekend, we hit the bar and it was packed. The music was loud, the drinks were flowing, and we were all having a great time. While my friends were dancing and socializing, I decided to head back to the bar for another drink. While waiting for the bartender, a gentleman I did not know approached me. He was slightly taller than me, slender, and rather non-threatening.
You got it.
He smiled and said, "Hey, Marine, you look stressed." Without thinking or even caring, I told him about my marital troubles. He offered me a drink, and as I had my attention turned to my phone, he handed me a drink.
What?
He smiled and said, "See you around."
Oh no. Please tell me you didn't drink that shit. Oh my God. You were distracted by your phone. You don't know this motherfucker. You're at a bar. Right? And somebody gives you a drink without you paying attention. And you tell them you about to drink that drink. If it's one thing I learned at parties or like any social gatherings or definitely at a bar, if you don't know that person and they offer you some drinks, unless like you're watching them like give you a drink, like pour you a drink, you're watching them with your own two eyeballs, you don't take that drink or you don't even drink that drink. Oh, excuse me. God. Jesus.
Gave me, and I went to go look for my friends. As I began to walk around, I started to feel sick.
Oh.
The room began to spin, and I was not feeling well. I felt that something was off, and when I couldn't locate my group, I left the bar to call a cab and head back to base. As I staggered outside, struggling to pull my phone out, the man who bought me the drink approached me. "Where's your friends?" he asked. "I don't know, but I'm going home," I replied. "Why don't I take you home?"
You good?
He said. I didn't know this guy and was starting to feel uneasy, so I politely refused, telling him that I'd wait for a cab. That was when the expression on his face changed to a menacing look. "Let's go, I'm taking you home," he stated with an angry tone as he grabbed my arm. I demanded he let me go and began to struggle when he slammed my head into the wall. Almost immediately after that, I began to lose consciousness. As he dragged me to his car, for what felt like an eternity, I went in and out of consciousness as I felt weight pressing down on me. I tried to struggle, but I passed out again. When I finally woke up, I was face down in an alleyway with my pants down, covered in blood. I was bleeding from my face and from behind.
Oh, he clocked you.
I was in so much pain.
Oh, he clocked you.
I finally made it back to base, and when asked about what happened, I lied. I was so ashamed. I couldn't believe what had happened. For the next 3 years, I fell into a deep depression. I suffered from depression, anxiety, and spells of rage. My marriage ended not long after what happened. Despite this horrible incident, I finished my enlistment honorably, and it took years before I was able to come to terms with what happened. My advice to anyone who has experienced what I have: you are not alone. Be patient with yourself and get help. The sooner you deal with it, the better it will get. To everyone else, watch your drinks. Be aware of your surroundings and never accept drinks from strangers. You never know when you will cross paths with a predator.
Where is his boys at? Wasn't his boys supposed to be with him? You know? Wasn't his boys supposed to have his back? I feel like, you know, what was he in, the Marines or something like that? I don't know, I forgot. But like, aren't they supposed? I don't know. I have to go like to the beginning of this story.
Receive MOS training, which is basically training for the job I was to do in the Marines.
Okay, Marines. Yeah, aren't people in the Marines supposed to have each other's back? That's supposed to be boys. And I don't know if like females go to Marines too. I don't really know. And I don't want to sound sexist or feminist. I really don't know what those two mean. But all I'm saying is, whether you're a female or a male, if you're in the Marines, aren't your people supposed to have your back? Come on, bro. Now I kind of felt like your boys was in cahoots, you know? Jesus. But that was crazy. Like, did he really get... Did he really... I mean, he didn't say it, but he said it. Because he said, like, he was in the alleyway. His face was, like, on the floor or something like that, and his pants was pulled down. Did he get raped? I don't know. I think so, but Jesus. See, this is why you don't... If you ever go to a party, or, like, any social gathering or anything like that, where they having drinks, do not accept drinks from strangers. You know, even it can go as far as, like, even if you do know the person, you know, you don't know what other people's intentions are. You know, y'all can be great friends, or, you know, not even that. Like, let's say you at a party or whatever, right? And they got drinks, and you go either with your friends, you go by yourself, or you go with like your significant other, right? Your significant other could have like bad intentions. No, just watch what people put in your drinks. You know? Just saying. Shit happens. And from people you will least expect. But, yo, oh God. Wow. This popcorn is bomb as hell. I just need to back off the seasonings. Because hold on. What's the sodium intake on this? 90 milli... Oh my God. Jesus. It's good as hell, but it's dangerous as hell too. But yeah, yo, that's crazy, man. And if anybody has ever been in a situation like that, as far as like the third story, I am so sorry. God, I'm sorry. But I really hope you all like learned your lesson for anybody that's been through that. And this is like an example of what would happen or things that could happen if you just taking drinks from people and you're not watching them make your drink. That's why you either make your own drink or you bring your drink. Or just don't drink at all. You got options. God. And cluck his boys. Cause I feel like his boys was supposed to have his back. But they didn't. Jesus. And then as far as like with the story like number 2, the story with the horse, listen to animals. Animals have a sixth sense. So when animals start to freak out, just know something is about to happen or is going to like it's happening currently. And I think what was the first story? Hold on. Oh, with the daughter and the mom, she was a drug addict. I think the moral of this like these 3 stories is like just watch your surroundings, watch where you at, be cautious, especially if you're in an area that you're not familiar with or you don't know where the hell you are. Like just up your guard, and just man, I can't get over like the story number 3. That sucks, man. God damn. Oh, that got me. Wow, that's crazy because you got people out here that does stuff like that, and I'm just like, bruh, really? Bruh. How do you go through your life doing that to people? Like that's crazy. Just be cautious about your surroundings and just there's always signs. Always signs. God. But yeah, keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy, my family.
That's why. Why didn't tell me you was recording? He didn't even tell me he was recording. Like that's some stuff. He didn't tell me he was recording. Pretty, pretty.